So much in those post-game sounds to react to. Callie, how are you doing? Welcome.
I'm good. I'm so excited to chat all this basketball. Finally, some basketball talk with my girls. I'm excited.
Yes, yes. We haven't talked hoops in a while, right? Because every time
Mm-mm.
you've been on, we've had to yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, let's get into the NBA in-season tourney. Some people call it the NBA Cup. I'm one of those people. It just feels like an easier name. I don't like the initials IST. I don't know. It just doesn't pop to me. And then
It
in-season
doesn't.
tournament is so long, right? It's like such a long name. I think they need to go with NBA Cup. The WNBA has a Commissioner's Cup. Come up with a name for yourself, but just give me like a one-word name I can call it.
That's what I was going to say. They need to take a page out of the WNBA's book. The Commissioner's Cup could probably, come a long way in certain areas, but they definitely got the name correct. Commissioner's Cup, it's succinct, it has a ring to it. The NBA needs to follow immediately.
Yes, yes, for sure. Okay, but so first of all, I don't even know where to start. Let's start with Damian Lillard, okay?
Okay.
If you weren't bothered by it, that little piece at the end about remaining humble didn't even need to be mentioned, Dame. Like, just stop it. Excuse you? You can't be all the time Dame timing and then being like, yeah, but what's the moment he's supposed to be humble? How many times does he have to like do something before he's allowed to say something? Come on now, come on now. I was like, I wasn't trying to hear all that. And I don't know. I don't even know if I believe LeBron that his trainer actually said that Final Four statement to him because we know he's a storyteller. But either way,
I saw somebody say that when LeBron gets to tapping his head and the eyes start going, that's how you know he's going to say something maybe he didn't intend to say.
listen,
So,
maybe his trainer did say that to him. It's very possible, but he just
right, absolutely.
he likes to tell stories. What I am loving most about this in-season tournament is Haliburton, who I've always been a huge fan of. And obviously, as a Warriors fan, I'm always distraught about him because the Warriors had a chance to draft him. And people often talk about LaMelo, and that's who we missed out on. But I always thought it was Haliburton. I have like tweets like that. And he talks about the fact that the Warriors he thought was one of the potential teams he could go to because they spent so much time with him. So that they landed where they did versus him and just seeing the way he's blossoming now. Yeah, of course. I mean, I get it. People don't want the rich to get richer, but damn it. I just envision him what he could look like on the Warriors. And I'm just like, man, but I love it. I love that he's getting this kind of attention because just being honest, the in-season tourney doesn't move me. I do think that it's accomplished what they wanted to, and I think there's a path to it even being bigger than what it is, and maybe eventually it will. Right? It could just be that it's new. Like back in the day when the 3-point line came about, a lot of people were like, "What is this? A gimmick? This or that?" So it may just take me a time. I've been watching the NBA for a very long time, and so I'm just like, why should I care about the NBA Cup, especially when the Lakers don't think they should hang banners for it, right? If they win, right?
Yeah.
Does it really mean that much? So I don't know, but I love this for Halliburton because he deserves it. He
Yeah.
deserves it. He's a great guy. And I'm sure you can speak to this when he got traded from the Kings, right? I mean, he was so distraught. He thought he was going to spend his life as a king. So he was so distraught. And to now, I know a big part of that trade was him and De'Aaron Fox coexisting together, right? And they're both thriving right now separately. So it's very easy for Kings fans and people to be like, look, this is what we could have had. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But that was the reason for the trade. It was never an indictment of whether they thought Haliburton would be a good player because he displayed that when he was a Sacramento King. And so I'm glad to see him thriving. I'm glad to see him leading his own team. I'm glad for others to hop on the Haliburton bandwagon. I drafted him first last year in our BFA All-Star draft, Callie. I picked him.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and when we got to the reserves, that's what I'm saying. He was, I love Haliburton, so I'm happy that this is happening for him.
Yeah, I think with Halliburton, it's exactly what you were saying. He was so committed to Sacramento, and that made Sacramento love him that much more. And so people in this area, we know that he's a superstar in the making and that this rise of his was just inevitable. I think there's a sense of that in Indiana. That's another reason why I think that this in-season tournament is actually a success. I can add more on that later, but with I think it's given us an opportunity to look at players like him and see what they have to contribute. 'Cause, like, this was his first nationally televised TNT game, or so the one last night. And so that to me is like fantastic that he balled out on that level. Even the game beforehand against the Celtics, like that was a nail biter. He scored 26 points. He had 10 rebounds, 23 assists. The Celtics are a monster in the East, you know, so to have
his career.
Right. So to have a performance like that and then to really double it up with what he did against the Bucks, he was putting on a show. I think that's what's so exciting about Hallie is that he's like a real entertainer. I feel like maybe the swag is like it's not like a normal swag. It's almost like a nerdy swag, but his play on the court kind of distracts you from like the awkward celebrations. Even the Dame time one, like I thought that was a little bit like, ooh, but like he backed it up, 27 points in that game, 15 assists, not a single turnover. Stuff like that excites me. And I think there's nothing like watching a star be born. That's really what the Kings probably felt like they were missing, but that team has continued to be successful. Obviously, it's a long season, but last season was, a testament to what the Kings were able to accomplish without Hallie. And so I think it's just really cool to see his continued success and like keep watching him ascend.
Yeah, it's okay. We need the little like dweeby celebrations. I mean, to put Steph Curry on that list, right? Like people are just like, oh my God, he's so like dweeby and corny with celebration. So that's okay. Those are fun to me. All of it's good, right? Like all the players have the way that they celebrate. And I'm just like a huge fan of him, like from the moment he came into the league. And, I said last week when we were talking about this, and I said the same thing, that I'm indifferent on the tourney, but I think it's going to be a good thing for like up and coming teams, for teams that maybe don't get as much shine, like an Indiana Pacers, right? Like now this may make the NBA say, like, yeah, maybe we need to give them more games. And, it's been shown, or like, at least the numbers are up. So I looked into it because I was like, how is the tourney actually performing? And the viewership, it's not just like more fans engaged, but when games were on at this same time, like last year in the regular season, it's up. There's an uptick, right? So it's doing what you want to happen. And and it's happening with a player like Tyrese Haliburton, who, like, if you're an NBA junkie, you probably know, but maybe like the world didn't know, right? And so more people are getting exposed to him. He's getting more national attention. And that's a good thing for the league. That's a great thing for Haliburton, right? For his star, but also what that means later for endorsements and all the other things that comes with it. He got that big contract and, and so, like I said, I couldn't be more thrilled for him. And I think because they've made it clear, like, we're not just chasing, a Vegas championship. Like we're going for the whole thing. And while I don't know that I'm yet ready to buy the stock on the Pacers being a championship contender, that's the thing. You go through something like this, some level of competition, even if it's just one game elimination, it builds your confidence, right? So can you imagine if they go in there and they beat the Lakers? That's going to be a confidence builder, even if it's just in a win or go home game. And I think LeBron's record in win or go home games is like, he don't lose many of them. So it's like that's going to feel very good if they can like pull that off and accomplish that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you set it up for me perfectly. That's why I was saying let Adam Silver cook with supervision, because you kind of were questioning like, what's the idea of success for the in-season tournament? To me, it's like, what was the goal and was the goal met?
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.